Hello my friend, this is Amner Hunter from amnerhunter.com. Happy to spend some time with you on this video. This time around I want to share with you 3 cool new free plugins that you can get, and also I want to share with you a couple of cool deals that you can't miss out. The first free plugin, it's the latest release by Guitar ML. This is an amp sim. The next one, it's available for free at Plugin Boutique for a limited time. This is the Urban Puncher. The next freebie on the list, it's the new compressor limiter by Bedroom Producer Blog. The first paid plugin on this list that has a huge deal at the moment, it's the Claro equalizer by Sonnox. And the last plugin on the list, a paid one, it's also on a huge promotion at Plugin Boutique and Audio Plugin Deals. This is the Smart Reverb plugin by Sonible. As usual, I leave you all of the applicable links related to the content of this video down below in the description and first comment, and don't forget to check out the timestamps as well that I leave you down below. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to my website, amnerhunter.com, where I have some additional freebies for you, some free PDF guides and ebooks for music producers and guitar players about mixing with free plugins, about productivity in your home studio, also about how to make more music in less time. Additionally, I have some tools such as some collections of guitar impulses, a drum sample pack for rock and metal sound, among other utilities. And finally, don't forget to check out the blog and this channel, which I'm updating weekly with tons of free content. So now, let's get straight into the video. The first free plugin we are checking out, it's the new amp simulator by the company Guitar ML. This has a shape of a guitar pedal, of course, but we are hearing more and more about this technology that it's being applied to amp sims, where they sort of emulate the behavior of real amplifiers based on profiles like the Kemper or Quad Cortex. Also some other companies like IK Multimedia is doing this. They call it train. So you train your amplifier and captures the behavior. Guitar ML, it's more or less of that, where you are gonna load a model or profile of a certain amplifier. At the website you have a bunch of models and profiles. This pedal, very simple, just has 2 knobs, a drive and level. The drive will control how much distortion you get out of the model that you add. You turn it off and turn it on like this. Has a very cool art layout. So you need to download those specific files to load them here. I have here a folder with 2 profiles, a blues amplifier and a Mesa mini rectifier high gain. So for instance, if I load this, now I have the sound of that model, and now I can go ahead and use the drive function. There are no knobs to tweak it like equalization, stuff like that, but nonetheless this technology is becoming more and more usable in modern music productions. Also, one thing to notice is that this sound that you're getting here, it's the amp head, so you would need a cap simulator or impulse response loader after this plugin. So let's go ahead and check out some of these models that I have here. Let's continue with the next free plugin. This one is available at Plugin Boutique for a limited time, I believe till the end of October, with a coupon code that I am leaving you down below. They will provide you with the serial number that you need to activate the plugin. This is the Urban Puncher. It's basically a compressor and saturator plugin that will give you a ton of punch, and with the saturation included, you will control those dynamics very well. So the more you saturate, the more harmonics you introduce to the signal, and it allows you to smoothen out the peaks and transients. With this control, you introduce compression and punch. You can also introduce saturation to control that punch, right? Because it can get out of control quickly. With the destroy button, you add even more saturation and distortion to the signal that will give you a very cool effect. You have a dry-wet control up here, very useful, and an output control. You have some interesting presets to choose from, and you have a meter of the input and output here. Let's take a listen to this plugin on some elements of this mix.
Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain remains running through my veins. Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain remains.
The next free plugin that we're checking out here, it's the new compressor limiter by the company Bedroom Producer Blog. This is called Dirty LA. Even though this plugin is not a direct emulation of an LA2A compressor, very famous, this plugin it's based off of that model where you introduce compression with a peak reduction in a very simple way. You don't have the usual compressor controls like attack, release, and you're gonna start seeing here the gain reduction happening with this needle. You can also set it as limiter for more aggressive compression. One very cool twist of this plugin, it's the dirt option where you introduce saturation to the signal. This will work great on drums, on vocals, on bass guitar as well. And of course you have a mix control here, very usable as well. Let's take a listen.
Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain remains running through my veins. Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain remains running through my veins. Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray.
The first paid plugin on this list is the equalizer Claro by Sonnox. This is an intuitive, intelligent equalizer. It's a very cool alternative to the FabFilter Pro Q3. In case that you like those types of plugins, this one could be a very good alternative at a very affordable price for a limited time. FabFilter plugins doesn't get a ton of discounts throughout the year, so this is your chance to get one of those types of equalizers. This is a $130 something plugin that it's currently on sale at Plugin Boutique at around $34, I believe. So this equalizer has three modes: the produce, the tweak, and the mix. The produce mode will allow you to have a much simpler version of the plugin with three controls for the lows, the highs, and the mids. Here you can select the frequencies, and you can boost or cut certain frequencies. And notice how the frequency changes up here on this diagram. And this will also tell you if you want to add rumble or remove rumble, if you want to add weight with the mids, if you want to add warmth, like in this part of the spectrum, if you want to remove mud, and if you want to add definition or remove harshness. Also add air to the signal. You have also a high pass filter and a low pass filter as well. You can put the low and high band as shelf. It has an auto gain function. Also with the width control, you can narrow certain band, so you can put more mono, the low end, for instance. In the tweak mode, you have the same as here in the produce mode, but now you have a visual of what's happening, right? So the movements that I did here, you can see them here. You can add up to 26 bands on this equalizer. You click on it and you can do all sorts of things on each band. Change the type of filters and bands. You can split the signal left and right. You can affect only the left, only the right, or you can affect only the mid, center of the mix, or the sides. That can be done on any band that you select. You have here more information about what you want to do to the signal. For instance, if you want to add weight in this section, you have this keyboard. Or if you want to remove rumble, if you want to remove nasal frequencies, and with your mouse wheel, you can narrow the band. You can solo each band by clicking on it and clicking on this headphones icon. Lastly, the mix allows you to manage all of the plugins if you have them on different channels on your mixer. With this view, you can check out what's happening on the bass guitar. For instance, on the kick drum, let's add here the kick drum and bass guitar, which is a common thing. Just drag the kick up here and let's drag the bass down here. And you can see the waveforms and how the frequencies are distributed. You have here in yellow some of the conflicting frequencies between the two of them. You can do all sorts of things. And you can also invert EQ, very useful. So if you add EQ here on the kick drum, you can remove those frequencies on the bass guitar, for instance, very useful. It allows you to have a multiple view of the tracks where you have this plugin added. Very, very cool. You can show here the tracks, the buses, the effects. Very cool. I'm gonna use this equalizer on the mix bus, and also I'm gonna try to EQ the kick and bass with this function. So let's do that.
Break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain remains running through my veins. Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain remains running through my veins. Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain remains running through my veins. Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me running through my veins. Another try to. Once I start, leads me to self-betray. Pain remains running through my veins. Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to.
The last paid plugin on this list, it's the Smart Reverb by the company Sonible, a highly intelligent algorithm of reverb that will analyze the audio in case you don't want to mess around a lot with the technicalities of effects. This plugin might be useful for quick results. Here you choose the instrument where you want to put the reverb on: drums, snare, guitar, keyboards, vocals, speech, etc. You hit record and the plugin will start to analyze the signal, and it will come up with an algorithm of reverb for this particular signal. It will start to load and you have now your reverb added to the signal. Then you can control even further the reverb with this square that you have here. You can add more artificial reverb, intimate, natural, or rich. You can apply more changes to the reverb like this. You can set the reverb time. You have the dry and the wet controls. You just use your mouse up and down, and you have also an equalizer for the reverb. For instance, you can apply a high pass filter with this control, or you can add some decibels at the frequency that you choose here, like this. You can also see the visuals of what's going on with the reverb and equalize it. I'm gonna use this reverb on drums, on vocals, on a couple of synthesizers to test these algorithms.
Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain remains running through my veins. Another day, another try to break away. Once I start to heal, it leads me to self-betray. Pain.
Please let me know down below in the comment section, what do you think about these plugins? Do you have a favorite out of these 5 plugins? What do you think of the free ones, of the paid ones? I will be very interested to know your opinions on this topic. Before we go, I'd like to invite you quickly one last time to my website, amnorhunter.com, where you can get some additional freebies, some free PDF guides and ebooks for music producers and guitar players, also some tools such as some collections of guitar impulses, a drum sample pack for rock and metal sound, among other utilities. And finally, don't forget to check out the blog and this channel, which I'm updating weekly with tons of free content. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it very much. I will see you very soon in the next one. All right? Take care.